Welcome back, everybody. As usual, on Monday it's time to speak about the cryptocurrencies. So, starting from the long-term chart as usual, monthly chart, Sive is here with the ForexPeaceArmy.com. Well, actually, on the longer-term charts, we do not have a lot of changes, so mostly we already talked about this. This market stands at a strong oversold area and around the last, as we call it, the last outpost for the bulls, the 57.75 area. And yearly pivot support 1. So bulls have only one option. It's either to change the direction and makes Bitcoin move in opposite direction, or it will be, if it will collapse, then we should be ready for a significantly deeper retracement, or better to say, it will be not retracement anymore. It will be the new downside trend direction. But I would say that not everything is bad as it seems on the first glance. Yes, Bitcoin feels bad currently. You could see that if other markets are turning up. You can see the performance on the euro currency, for example, today. In gold market, on the background of the Supreme Court decision and so on. But for the Bitcoin, it's really not very good news, because it put the government in the United States in a bit tricky situation. And it means that in fact, it's some kind of the contracted liquidity. Maybe it's not really very big sum, so 150 billions at first approximation, but consequences might be bigger. And any news on liquidity cut, it hurts first of all most risky assets, which bear no interest, as the Bitcoin, for example. So also it was a bit some negative news in recent days in the crypto area. We will discuss this in our monthly report that we will prepare this week. And also that might make pressure on sentiment on the market as well. But for now, you can see that market is trying to hold the punch and actually remains in the same support area that we discussed already. On the weekly chart, we also have the same story. So as I said, let's take a look that we do not have any attempts to move in opposite direction. So once market abandons the oversold level, it immediately starts downside action again. So this time oversold stands approximately around the lows of the 60 even. So here's market could slip even lower. Nothing actually prevents it, if of course something will happen, some news will be released or something this kind. But on the technical picture, I suggest that our plan that we have created a few weeks ago with a touching of the 52 area, 52.50, it still stands on the table. On a daily chart, this is our major chart to watch. The signs of the bearish dynamic pressure increasing. So if you take a look at the MACD indicator, you will see that trend stands bullish, but price action is not. It's just flat sideways action. So here you could see the same kind of the smaller decrease. This here at least was some minor upward action, but it still was some kind of the bearish pressure. Market here is turned down. This might be the same story, but the more difficult situation stands with this target. It's really big target. It has not been completed yet. The market stands very close to it. And in such circumstances, markets usually gravitates to big targets, so it works like the magnet. Yes, it might briefly touch it, so it might be just minor occasional spike on some date release on something like this. But at some degree, market should approach to this area. And at that point, by my suggestion, if we will have any point in general for reversal and for a bullish context, by my suggestion, this point might become the culmination point for a reversal. If of course reversal starts at all. If it will not start, it doesn't mean at all. So you could forget about the 52, 52.50 and so on. But if still it starts, it probably will start from this point, because actually bulls have nothing else below this area. So it's final point. That's it. You can't drop more and then show some pullback, because in this case you will break all the support areas that you have on the monthly chart. So that's why I have a really special view on this overall situation, and particularly this point. Since we also could get here the butterfly to the downside, I'm not excluding the pattern that might be formed here. As you can see, the butterfly very often becomes the pattern of the hand shoulders. So probably I already showed it previously, but sorry, this just change the color. Or better to just move it a bit sideways, then return it back. But now I will show you just this hand shoulders pattern. But you probably already could imagine by yourself what it will be. It's around 52.50, as we said, some kind of this type of action. So it might happen. For me, it will be just perfect combination, perfect pattern that might be formed. Yes, it's a bit not accurate draw, but you understand what I'm speaking about. That what particular I'm watching for. If the 52.50 area will become the reversal point, this might be a great start, at least for a significant pullback, or even maybe for reversal. Maybe it will coincide with some important event. I don't know, maybe an accept of the Clarity Act or something like this. That's probably all that we could say currently on the Bitcoin. In this situation where market has collapsed, here I do not see good chances for taking a long position immediately. On the hourly chart, you could see that market has abandoned our channel for some time, but then dropped again. This drop was relatively fast. It's fast acceleration. And market just standing right now on the 64 support area, as explains this minor reaction. But since acceleration was relatively fast and we have this type of action on the daily, for now I wouldn't consider taking a long position immediately, and we'll be watching for this area. The one thing that you still could think about is a possible taking position in a scale-in strategy. So for instance, some kind of the traders call it as accumulation. So you're buying, you're entering by steps. If you have similar view that probably market could reverse from this area, but you're scared to miss the possible reversal, for instance, if it will start immediately or something like this, you could apply accumulation. So take minor position here, where at support, take the 15%. If we drop lower back to the lows, you could add another 50%. Then when we have the 127 target will be completed, not 1618, but 127, approximately around 57. Take another 15. When it's dropped right back down to the point that we talked about, 52.50 area, take the rest. And you will have an average, some position around maybe 55, 57. So it will be great entry in general, especially for long-term investments. It doesn't matter 1-2,000s actually. But you will be prepared for a case if by some reasons market could reverse a bit earlier, something like this. It's one of the strategies that you could think about. But general look already, general view stands as I just explained. So let's keep watching and see what will happen. But obviously we're coming to the very important point on the Bitcoin market.